In today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to start making more money while actually working less. Let's dive in. All right, as always, so grateful for you, so grateful for your time and your attention, and I want to talk to you today about the principle of leverage. This is one of the biggest things that you see when you see successful people is that they have implemented leverage in their life. This is one of the things that has really changed my life in a major way, and I want to spend a little bit of time with you today explaining leverage and explaining why it's so incredibly important. So number one, what is leverage, right? What is leverage? Leverage is essentially where instead of you trading 1 unit of energy for 1 unit of whatever output you get, now you figure out ways to input 1 unit of energy and get 3 or 5 or 10 or 100 units of output. So it's like, imagine that you had a sawhorse for a second that was perfectly even. The sawhorse is perfectly even. If both people on the sawhorse weigh exactly the same, no one necessarily has leverage over the other. But imagine for a second, you had this long extended side of the seesaw and there was a little itty bitty kid on it, and there was just a little bit of room where the axis point was on this side, and let's say that you had a really big person sitting on it. Well, this really small person that's way extended over here can actually move the big person because of leverage. Leverage inside of your business, inside of your life, looks the same way, to where you're no longer trading time for money. So you're no longer trading, okay, I'm making X amount of dollars per hour, therefore for me to make money, I have to work X amount of hours, right? It's now, instead of getting paid by the hour, I get paid by the outcome. Instead of getting paid by the hour, I'm getting paid for the knowledge. Instead of getting paid by the hour, I'm getting paid for how I consult or how I help somebody. Or instead of getting paid by the hour, I now run an organization or I run a business that has employees, right? So I want to give you the 4 forms of leverage that exist, okay? This is from a business standpoint, right? From an organizational standpoint. So number 1, the first form of leverage that exists is labor. So here's a great way to think about this. Imagine that you own a furniture company and you sell 5 tables a month. Well, this is what you can do. You can sell 5 tables a month and you can build all of the tables yourself. So you can sell 5 a month, build all the tables yourself, and you're going to collect all the income. But as a result of that, you're going to be in the shop all the time, right? Building those 5 tables a month. Now, let's say that those 5 tables were $10,000, okay? Or what you could do is you could employ labor inside of your business. What that means is that you take on an employee, you now sell the same 5 tables, but instead of you building the 5 tables, you hire an employee to build the 5 tables, you split your profit, so you're losing half of your money. You're only making, let's say, $5,000 a month off of this, but now you can actually redevote your time to going and selling more tables. And so the next month, you don't have 5 table sales, you've got 10 table sales. And this is how labor allows you to leverage into higher value activities. And so inside of your woodworking business, a lot of people get offended about this, but I truly believe that as the business owner, the most high value activity that you can be doing is marketing and sales, really focusing on increasing the volume that's flowing through your business so that as a result of that, you have the opportunity to make higher margins, to have higher top line revenue inside your business, but it comes through hiring people with labor. So that's the first form of leverage. Number 2 is capital. Capital is a form of leverage, aka using your money to make money. If you're like me, you didn't have any money growing up, right? I grew up in a 600 square foot house. You know, we always barely had enough of what we needed to get by. But as I've gotten older and I've really learned a lot about business and really started diving into it, what you realize is that, you know, I can use any money above and beyond my means of living, and I can deploy that into investments or opportunities that are going to make me more money. Then you're not working for money, your money is working for money. For example, if you buy a home or buy a piece of property that spits off $1,000 a month in cash flow to you, that money that you invested in that is actually what's making you the money. And so capital, aka money, is another form of leverage. Number 3 is media. Media is another form of leverage. And so essentially these videos that we create here on YouTube, they're going to live on YouTube indefinitely, right? Until YouTube crashes or YouTube's no longer a thing, right? And so media allows for you to be able to right now scroll down through our page and see that we've created 250 videos. And I can live and speak to you in another video without me having to be in person. That media is a form of leverage. I do this one time, it's done, it lives forever. That's a form of leverage. And then number 4 is really utilizing softwares or technologies as leverage. You think about things like ChatGPT, OpenAI, you think about technology that can do things for you that you can't do, or automations that allow you to move so much faster. And so why do you want leverage? Because you only have so much time. That's why you want leverage. And what happens is when you first start trying to make money, when you're a teenager and you're mowing yards in the summertime, you only have so many hours of daylight each day in the summer, and you can only mow so many yards. But what if you had a team of 25 people mowing yards? It allows you to make a whole lot more money. Even though you're giving up your profit margin, you're having to pay more out, you're giving up profit margin. If you can increase volume, you get all your time back. But imagine, let's use that example for just a second. Back then, you were trading time for money. You were mowing the yard and getting paid. Well, as you get older, you're working the job, getting paid by the hour. And again, you only have so many hours that you can work. And so if you want to make more money, you have to just work more. But there comes to a certain point where you can't work anymore. It's like, I can't work more than 100 hours a week or 120 hours a week. I'm exhausted, right? And so you have to start figuring out, how do I make more money per hour? That's the first step. Then it's, how do I stop working by the hour? Okay, so like if you had the ability to sell furniture and literally build it in an hour, but you can still sell it for $3,000, then you're no longer attached to time. Your pay is no longer attached to time. And so for me, one of the highest forms of leverage that I've ever created in my life was really getting good at marketing and sales, is getting good at the things that there's not a time correlation. I can go in and build a marketing campaign in a few hours that might generate $80,000 that month for my business. The return on that is insane. When you look at a money per hour return rate, it's wild. Same way for sales, is getting really good at sales. You know, you can have a 2 or 3 hour conversation or an hour long conversation with a potential client and make off of that relationship $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, right? Inside of the furniture industry. And so you might have spent an hour and you might have made your business $3 or $4 or $5,000 as a result of that skill, right? And so marketing and sales and leverage that comes from those skills is so valuable. This is why I am such a strong believer in focusing on leverage, is how do I create leverage in my life? So I'm going to create leverage through coaching and consulting. I'm going to create leverage through continuing to build out the iron by iron infrastructure to where I'm doing less and less, but I have my team that's super effective and doing a good job. I'm going to build leverage in my life by building teams inside of my ministries. As the pastor, sometimes it's like you can't keep up with all the people and their needs. And so what if I had a team of 4 or 5 of the people that had a heart to minister and encourage people, and I used those 4 or 5 people, and I'm also helping them walk in their calling of what God's called them to do? That's leverage. It's a form of leverage, but it's also making a huge difference. Not only the people that need help, but need somebody to encourage them or minister to them or whatever, but it's helping people walk in the calling that God's called them into. And then like real estate, for example, is another form of leverage. It's like we've taken money that we had that was in excess of what we used to live off of. We deployed it into something that made us more money. So I say all this to say, you can absolutely identify these forms of leverage. And here's where a lot of people get hung up. They think, well, I'm giving up money by hiring somebody. I'm giving up money by doing this. And what you're not weighing is what we call opportunity cost. It's like, okay, is it more valuable for you to pay somebody to deliver a table while you stay in the shop and continue to make money or produce for the company than it is for you to be the delivery guy as well, for you to pay yourself for the delivery? When you're delivering a table, what you're not doing is building more stuff, making more money. That's what you're not doing. You might not have to give up the pay that you would be paying a delivery driver, but what you are giving up is the $1,000 that you could have produced in product while you stayed in the shop. So you have to really weigh the opportunity cost and say, okay, so I would rather stay in the shop. I'd rather pay this guy $200. I don't want to pay him $200, but if I pay this guy $200, I can produce $700 in revenue by staying in the shop. Weighing opportunity costs. Another one is driving and picking up your lumber. What if you could pay the lumber company $75 to deliver it and you didn't have to be gone for 2 or 3 hours out of your day, right? It's pretty valuable, right? And so understanding and weighing opportunity cost every step of the way and identifying what's the highest leverage thing that I could be doing right now inside of my business and inside of my life. And so with that being said, guys, hopefully this is beneficial to you. Hopefully this is helpful and helps you reframe and think on a really strategic level about your business. Again, as always, we got a couple resources for you. Number one, the Handmade Business Secrets ebook. You can check that out down in the link below. It's about an 80 or 90 page ebook, and it's going to really help you, spend a lot of time on that. It's a short read, but it's really going to open your mind and open your eyes to how to change your life in that regard. Number two is if you're trying to scale your woodworking or handmade business to $10,000, if you're not at $10,000 yet and you're trying to get there, the single greatest thing that I can offer you is the Handmade Hero Academy program. You're going to want to check that out. And then number three is if you're really trying to scale your woodworking business to the next level, check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program, where we help clients all over North America. We have currently 26 clients in the program. We help them scale beyond $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per month inside of their custom woodworking business. So with that being said, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.